A lot of people are reluctant to see the return of Gobblegum in Black Ops 6. In this video, we're going to be exploring why this is the case, and we're also going to cover why this might just be a good thing, so stay tuned to the end of the video. Jumping straight into it, Black Ops 3 introduced Gobblegum, and it was a really cool mechanic when the game first came out. It was something that they were implementing as a new way for zombies to be played. It changed the experience entirely. Games would have so much more replayability because the Gobblegums did so many various things. There was a lot of benefits to this. You could have so much fun changing between Gobblegums. It added a whole new element of like creating a loadout, so to speak, for what you were going to run in your next game. And there was a lot of really cool things that came out of this. We saw some huge strides in the speedrunning community. It opened up an entire new section of speedrunning zombies maps with megas and traditional gobblegums being a part of that and creating those new categories. So that was one of the benefits for sure of gobblegum coming into the mix. Along with that, there was also just more replayability and cool things that you could do as the player. It was a new element to the game that they added. It kind of went side by side with their advanced movement that Black Ops 3 had. And it was a cool way to give mini buffs and mini perks, so to speak, to people throughout the match that could totally change the game. I mean, we saw things like Anywhere But Here, where you could teleport out of danger and keep your run going. Or we saw things like Stock Option that allowed you to shoot without reloading because the ammo was coming from your reserves, not from your magazine, and so many other things that really changed the way that zombies was played, and it added a whole new dynamic to the game. That's something that everybody knows that played Black Ops 3. It's something that people definitely enjoyed and jumped on board with. But there were some negatives, and the negatives really came with Mega Gobblegums. Now, as we know, Black Ops 3 was produced by Treyarch and Activision, being that they are a company first, they have to capitalize and make money off the game. That's just the way that the world works. And so, in order for them to add this new dynamic to capitalize, Gobblegums was their solution, and essentially it was a way for them to add some more financial gain to the zombies community. Whereas, it's been mainly hanging on the multiplayer community for a long time with weapon skins and cosmetics and all of these other items that didn't really make its way into zombies. And a huge part of the player base is, zombies fans. If you weren't a zombies fan, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. And so they wanted to capitalize on that. And so they ended up putting Mega Gobblegums behind a paywall. Essentially, in Black Ops 3, you would use elixirs or liquid divinium to spin the wheel and roll the dice at getting new Gobblegums that did various different things that were super strong. And it made it pretty difficult for a lot of people like myself wanting to jump in on the Easter egg race, but not having the financials or the time to be able to really grind out for these Gobblegums or to pay for them. And these Gobblegums ended up getting pretty dang expensive. And it's something that was a little criminal, but we were still in the loot box era of Call of Duty when this was all going down. And so I think that we're not going to see nearly as much of an impact in Black Ops 6. But there were negatives. I mean, Perkaholic was just super overpowered. Being able to get every perk on the map for free at the start of any match was pretty ridiculous, along with things like shopping free, where you could just buy anything for free for like 60 seconds and run around and open up the whole map on round one. It gave you such an edge that when it came to like DLC releases and new maps and new Easter egg hunts, all of the small content creators and the people in the community that were really trying to follow along with all these other YouTubers that were trying to complete these Easter eggs really had no chance of catching up because they had I mean, most of us have jobs and we can't sit there and play zombies for 14 hours a day. And B, I mean, most of us don't want to spend our hard-earned money on in-game items that are single use. So it put this huge negative umbrella over the community saying, well, if you don't have the money, you're just not going to be able to do this. And they ended up reworking the system for Gobblegums later on after the DLC season had concluded, so that it's a lot easier to attain some of these higher tier Gobblegums, which is cool. I'm glad that they were able to go through and do that. However, it's still really not easy to get them, and you do have to be grinding the game quite a bit to see an increase in that. Um, if you want to see a more in-depth video on this, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to go more in depth on Black Ops 3 and what the pull rates and everything were for some of the bigger Gobblegums, because it's kind of ridiculous. I spent way more money than I should have trying to get Perkaholics and shopping frees for the Revelations Easter egg. Just let me know down in the comment section below if that's something that you would like to see. Now, Black Ops 4 ended up continuing Gobblegums with elixirs, and essentially elixirs were quite different than Gobblegums, but they did the same kind of thing. They changed the dynamic of the game and they added a new like element to it. However, it wasn't quite as intense as it was in Black Ops 3. The elixirs didn't really do nearly as much. Like using a new elixir or using an elixir in general wouldn't really change the outcome of your game or give you an incredibly competitive edge on the rest of the people in the community. Especially with things like Perkaholic, when you have to select what 4 perks you want on the map to begin with. And Perkaholic just gives you those 4 perks. So it's something that people can still attain rather than having Perkaholic give you 12 perks or 8 perks that make you a super soldier to where you aren't going to be able to get downed. So that was something that they did to improve it. And I think the attainability of these elixirs was a lot better in Black Ops 4. I'm not 100% sure because I didn't really go too in depth with that, but I do know that it was a little bit of an improvement as far as competitive edge goes. If you want to see a video more in depth on Black Ops 4 elixirs and how they changed the Gobblegum system, let me know again in the comment section below. I'd be happy to make that for you. Now, I do want to go over a couple of benefits that I see from Gobblegums. I mean, personally, I thought some of the ones that were goofy were just super fun to use. There were Gobblegums that you could pop in. It would essentially just make it so all the zombies would float up in the air after they were killed, or they would explode. And it was just like a goofy, fun thing to do. But, you know, that being said, there's also so much benefit to the standard Gobblegums that it's something that I do want to see come back. I really think that having a stock option or anywhere but here in plain sight, some of these Gobblegums that can help your survivability and really don't give you a massive competitive edge on anybody else throughout the DLC season or in any of these Easter egg hunts or anything like that. I definitely think Gobblegums along those lines would be really good. Now, I do think it is rough when there are a competitive edge Gobblegum, and we know they're coming back. Perkaholic's been confirmed, along with several others that are mega Gobblegums from Black Ops 3. However, it really depends on how they go about doing it and whether or not it's going to be too much. Essentially, I think that Gobblegums are really good, especially for the speedrunning community, as well as the Easter egg community. It's just something fun and a new dynamic to kind of pull from. But I don't want to see a massive competitive edge when the game comes out, especially because I'm a smaller content creator, but I will be joining in on the Easter egg race with the launch of Black Ops 6. My plans are to go for the Liberty Falls map, but it would really suck if all of these other content creators that are also in on the race, that have been at this for years and have a massive following, can just immediately get 100 Perkaholics and 100 shopping frees, and then their runs end up taking half as long as mine do. It really eliminates my chances of even going for a world first, unless I'm willing to fork up a ton of money to do so. So I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video, let me know. You've made it pretty far so far. So if you throw a like on the video and let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this from me, that would be perfect. I do want to talk about why Gobblegums are even coming back at all. Essentially, my thoughts on this are just Activision still wants to try and capitalize off the zombies community. I mean, they're putting a massive marketing campaign behind this game right now, and they're going to capitalize on that. So it's going to be something that we can pay for 100%, whether it be, a zombie specific battle pass or, different ways that we can purchase these in game. It's going to be something, don't expect it not to be a paid for service. It's going to be paid for. However, I do think that there's going to be a better chance of earnability in this, whether it's completing challenges or Easter eggs or leveling up your account to max prestige. It could be a lot of different things that they're going to do in order to give this some earnability, but we don't really know exactly what those are yet. And that's what's getting the whole community confused. We don't want to go back to Black Ops 3 where it's break the bank or spend 500 hours on the game to get what you need. In conclusion, I mean, there's a lot of benefits and there's a lot of negatives to this. It's really just comes down to what you're going after in the game. Are you more of a competitive person? Are you going to be trying to get through the Easter egg race along with all of these other content creators? Or are you just trying to casually play some zombies, enjoy the game, and maybe do an Easter egg or two? It kind of skews the way that you look at it. But really, if this is going to be something that we have to fork a ton of money over, I think it's going to be really negative, and it's going to negatively impact the entirety of the zombies community. But if the earnability of these and playing the mode is something that you can do to earn these mega gobblegums, and it's not like a 500-hour long grind, I do think people would enjoy this. I mean, I would love to have a perkaholic through the Easter egg race because I completed some challenge that not a lot of people have completed or is considered more difficult. Or if you solve a certain step of some side Easter egg that gives you an extra perkaholic or mega gobblegum or however they're going to do it, as long as the earnability is something that is doable for the average consumer, I think that it's a good idea. It adds such a changing and massive dynamic to the zombies community and the zombies game as a whole that I think people really would like it if it's something that you could switch up and be able to access as the average Joe player. That's really all I have for it. I do think it could go either way. We're going to have to wait and see for the full release of the game, or at least for them to talk about how the system's going to work, maybe at Call of Duty next. If you did end up making it this far in the video, it would be really awesome if you considered to subscribe. We're trying to build an army here. It's the One Eye Army, and we're growing like crazy right now, and I would love to see you there. If you like the video, again, leave a thumbs up on it. I would really, really appreciate it. That's all I have for you guys in this one. Again, leave a comment and let me know if you like this style of video, if you want to see more stuff like this from me in the future. Thank you guys. Have a good one.